Hello. Hi, friends. How are you on this fabulous Sunday afternoon/evening? How is everyone? It's not the greatest lighting, but I wanted to sit in front of my Christmas tree and talk while my boyfriend just ran out, took the garbage out, and took Poop for a ride. If you're new here, Poop's my pit bull. Her name's not really Poop, also, if you're new. Her name is Trinity from The Matrix. But when she was a puppy, I would call her Poopsie. Because she was so cute. She was a little Poopsie. And it led to Poop. And now she won't come to me unless I use the word poop. She identifies as poop. Ooh, thank you so much, Bryn. Minus this, I had a second guest move into my face. Oh, that one, which is going away. Right there, of all places. Whatever. So is everyone choosing to be new selves, huh? Oops, almost closed that out on accident. Whoopsie. Okay. Kim, how do you deal with impatient when SP has shown improvement, but not 100% conform? Oh, limitless queen bitch. Thank you so much. All right, so your SP hasn't shown up 100% conformed. Okay. I will be honest with you. I don't pretend to never get frustrated. Thank you, Bryn. To never get frustrated with my 3D. And this is just as my belief, so it might sound a little limiting, but anybody that presents themselves as never getting frustrated with the 3D or just annoyed or just having an off day, I think they're full of shit. Complete full of shit. Like I said, though, it's probably a limiting belief on my end. We all have our days. We are humans having a human experience. So when, let's say SP is, not coming in 100% conformed, a lot of response or how I feel about it really is telling me who I am being. Right? So don't get me wrong. This is not me pointing the finger back at you saying, oh, who are you being? But I guess it is in a way saying, who are you being? Because how we interpret our 3D tells us who we are being. But I told you that little nugget in the beginning about how I am, because I don't want you to think that you're doing something wrong if you have a day where you're annoyed or responding to the 3D. It's not about being perfect, but it's always telling us who we're being. And who we're being is the full key to manifestation, right? We have to essentially, this is going to sound harsh, but the old man must die. And your old man is just your old state. The old version of self must die. And by die, I just mean we stop identifying as old self. We start identifying as new self. All of you guys sending me stuff. Thank you so much. Night Forever, Bryn. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anybody I missed? Thank you. So first and foremost, if you know that you are choosing to be your new self, right? Maybe that's through affirmations, visualizations, scripting, inner conversating with higher self. I like to think of it like, you don't have to inner conversate with higher self. I didn't mean it like that, but that is what I do. If you're doing all that to decide to be your new self, which is the self that has your full manifestation, then you have nothing to worry about. SP will show up the way you want. They might not be right now in this current 3D, but that doesn't have to mean you have something to worry about. It also doesn't imply that they're never going to show up the way you want. So how do you deal with the impatience? You remind yourself of who the hell you are. And if it's a day where it's really bothering you, yes, you want to ask yourself, all right, who am I being right now? Why am I letting this bother me the way I am? And it is something that I will do. If I find myself responding to the 3D emotionally, and for what it's worth, I'm a highly, if you couldn't already tell by this sassy personality, I am a highly emotional person. And I am not trying to change that in any way. This is who I am. Thanks, Bran. I love who I am. I don't want to change. And I'm a very easy crier. I cry at the drop of the hat. And I cry for all different things like, anger, sadness, happiness. So when I find myself in a sad way or an angry way, emotionally responding to my 3D, I automatically know in that moment that I am not choosing to be the version of myself that has whatever I want. In fact, I'm allowing the 3D to push me around a little bit. But I'm human and it's going to happen. And instead of pretending that it's never going to happen, I don't beat myself up for it, is what I'm trying to say. But sometimes, and this might sound kind of twisted, but sometimes it makes me feel better. It makes me feel better. Because I know that when SP isn't showing up the way I want, and I'm responding, I know I'm not being new self. So therefore, it brings me comfort because I know if I go back to my damn decision of being new self, he's going to show up differently. See what I'm saying? So when SPs aren't showing up the way you want, how are you responding to it? What are you allowing yourself to believe about what you're experiencing, right? Are you giving it the meaning that SP is never going to change or it's going to take forever? And if so, you instantly know that's not new self. So I just got to go back to my decision. I just got to go back to who I want to be, go back to identifying as new self, and this will change. That's how you make yourself feel better. You realize, okay, if it's annoying me today, I'm not a failure. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you to everyone that's sending me things. Honestly, thank you. I'm not a failure. I'm having a human moment, and I'm returning to my decision, so I know I'm going to get what I want. I know I am. And you will. You will. The 3D always reflects who we are being or validates who you're being. And you get to be the boss of who you're being. You get to choose any version of yourself. So as long as you are choosing to be the you or identifying as a you, or another way of saying is be in the state of having the desire, you're going to have it. My advice also would be to remember, give everything the meaning that it is your unfolding. Now, I have been asked the question, Kim, if I'm calling it the unfolding, doesn't that imply I believe I don't have it and I believe I'm still waiting? Only if you're super married to logical thinking. Only if you are afraid of using words that imply tense, past, present, future, tense, which I hope we are not, any of us, that person, because it's silly. You are the God of your reality. You can use whatever tense you want, and it's still going to come to you. But when you give everything the meaning that it is the unfolding, meaning it's coming to you, every single moment is you getting what you want, literally. Even though the full manifestation might not be in your face in the 3D, well, if it's the unfolding, then that has to imply that I am the me who is in the wish fulfilled, or the version of self that has the desire. So I'm doing everything right. I'm in the right reality and everything's okay. And I'm still going to get whatever I want. Literally. See what I mean? Don't beat yourself up. Don't be too hard on yourself. If you're choosing yourself, SP is going to show up the way you want. Period. But also bear in mind, to any of you manifesting SPs that you've already had relationships with, remember, let's be sure we're not holding on to old stories of SP. Meaning if they've hurt your feelings in the past, or they've let you down, or maybe it's just the fear that they're never going to come back in, that's a story. And we got to let that story go. That's part of the old man, your old state, old version of self, that's got to go. And if you find that you struggle to let go of stories, well, then I guess you're going to decide to be the version of yourself that finds it really easy to let stories go. And yes, you can just decide that. You can decide that's who you are. And therefore, you're going to find that you're going to let shit go. Meaning it's not going to bother you as much. And therefore, we're letting old man get out of here so we can be new self. Can I get what I want by a specific time? I know most people say not to focus on it, but I want to. Well, Quinn, you just happen to be in luck because you're the god of your reality and you honestly can do whatever you want. Of course, you can manifest by a specific date. Oh, that was close to a filthy word. Sorry. My mind always goes to the gutter first. God. All right. Yes. Is manifesting by a specific date real? Yes. Can you do it? Yup. When people ask me to help them with manifesting by a specific date, I always own the fact that they're not my favorite. Thanks, Jess. They're not my favorite. Have I manifested by a specific date? Yes. But that is more to do with I am obsessed with manifestation. Anything manifestation. I'm obsessed with it. And I am also obsessed with proving I can do it through any technique. Well, because I'm talking about it all the time. So I want to master all techniques. That's just my personality. You all don't have to master every technique. You're already a master at it, right? You've been doing it your whole life. But my advice is, listen, if you are doing it by a specific date, then the idea is you don't want to be hyper focusing on the what if it doesn't show up by specific date. Right? We don't want to add that extra layer of pressure on our shoulders. That makes it an unenjoyable experience. And it keeps you in the version of self that doesn't have it. So we don't want to do that. We want to just identify as self. Let's pretend you want to manifest by Christmas. Maybe that's your specific date. I'm just making this up. So then what I would do if I were you is I'd be focusing on already experiencing it. Right? So if, like, let's say you were scripting or affirming, I know me, and I would just go to past tense affirmations. Like, I had the best Christmas ever 2023. It was the best Christmas ever. I did this. I spent the day with SP. Whatever, I'm just making that up. But do you see how that doesn't seem heavy? It doesn't seem like pressure. It's light, it's lighthearted, and it allows you to immerse yourself in your imagination in living that moment of, having him with you on Christmas Day or her with you on Christmas Day. That's what I would do. But you can manifest anything. And yes, that includes by certain days, for sure. Oh my God, you're so smart. Oh my God, you're my new best friend. Thank you so much. That was nice. You are welcome, Quinn. Oh, Sophie, I missed your first. I'm assuming you wrote something else because all I see is, then I got the bill through the door. I don't know what that means. There must be more to yours. Okay, there we go. What if I didn't want a parking ticket? Then I got one. Then I was like, I don't have to pay it, but, then it came through the door. Okay. So you're letting logic overtake your manifestation here. And this is why I always say logic is not our friend when manifesting. I don't think it is. Unless you're using logic to your benefit to have it equal that you're getting whatever you want. Other than that, logic is not our friend. Literal thinking, also not our friend. So try to remember that your consciousness, which is really who you are, another way of saying that is God or universe or I amness. Your consciousness is not bound by linear, straight line time. So you may not have wanted that parking ticket, but it manifested. And now we're facing having to pay for something we don't want to. So logically, I'm sure what you're getting attached to is, I got the bill. I have to pay it. It's here. It manifested. So drop the logic. You have options. You can revise. You can revise that it never happened. You never got the bill. And not worry about how it unfolds. Just keep identifying as the self who didn't get one. Who doesn't have anything to pay, right? You're debt-free, right? Or And you're going to keep identifying, but I'm calling it an or because we're not necessarily revising unless you choose the revision route. Or you're just going to identify as version of self that doesn't have any parking tickets, that doesn't have to pay any parking tickets, no longer has, said parking ticket. And from there, keep identifying as that self and allow it to unfold. So a number of things could happen. Let's say you revise. Well, a bridge of incidents will take place. And listen, some of you guys, you use logic on your bridge of incidents. Bridge of incidents never has to mean a long time. A bridge of incidents to an instant manifestation is from the moment it manifested, that little millisecond until you noticed it was here. Even an instant manifestation has an unfolding. Like I said, just you turning your head and seeing the manifestation is the bridge, okay? So this could be instant. Identify a self that doesn't have it, and a bridge of incidents will unfold. And for example, how it could possibly unfold. So this is just an example. This is not saying this is exactly how it'll play out. But something will happen, and let's say wherever you got the parking ticket from, let's say it was a city. The city or the people that issued it could have an issue with their computer system, and yours happens to be the only one that gets deleted and they have no record for it and therefore cannot expect you to pay because it doesn't exist anymore. That's why I would probably revise. If it was my parking ticket, I'd revise that bitch and I would be identifying as the self that never got one. Anytime the original memory would come into my mind. Are you guys still here? Is this still live? Oh no. All good. Oh, okay. What the hell? I checked my connection. I had... What the fuck was that? Stupid internet. Anyway. Shit, so I don't know what you heard me say. Okay. Pick up from the parking ticket. I don't remember the last thing I said now. Okay, I'm going to pick up from the place of I'm telling you to revise. If it was me, I would revise that I never got that parking ticket. I would be identifying as the self that doesn't have the parking ticket. Anytime the original memory would come into my mind, meaning of me getting the parking ticket through my door, I would instantly be revising that didn't happen. And listen, it's as simple as me saying that didn't happen. Nope, that's not what happened. This is what happened. I drove away before the parking ticket ever got to my car. Or, I got away before the person who wrote the tickets ever got to my car. You can revise it to whatever you want. And like I said, that bridge of incidents will unfold that they could lose it. It could be magically erased out of their system. You could, let's say you got to show up to court for it or something. You show up to court and they can't find it or they drop it because anything can happen. But we let our logical mind worry us. You see what I'm saying? Don't let logic steal this from you. Instead, keep identifying as not having it. Okay? Can I manifest being rich and famous? Yeah. Hell yeah. You are welcome, Sophie. Hey, mistress of makeup, mayhem, beauty. Oh, thank you. Who was it? Zoe Lou. Thank you so much. How are you, Zoe? Hey, queen, right back at ya. Hello. Is that what you do when you think of SP? Anytime you think about it, if you change the old story? Yes. Yep. Let me explain revision here for a second, because the idea of revision is, you can change the old experience, right? So it's like if linear time were real, we would be going back in time, back to that moment of the original experience. and we're rewriting it, right? We're saying something else happened instead. Now, obviously something to our benefit. That then changes for everyone in the equation of that revision. But how that looks is you leave the timeline. You leave the timeline. So the timeline where that original, we'll say her getting a parking ticket, the timeline where she got the parking ticket, the moment she decides to revise and stick with it, and sticking with the revision, she uproots herself from that timeline, from that reality, and hops her ass over to the timeline or reality or version of self. They're all the same, really. Where it never happened. It never happened. So the timeline where she experienced it, that timeline is still there. You're leaving it. See what I'm saying? That's revision. So I get asked a lot about revising breakups. And this is another one of those where people get their logic too over involved. They're overthinking. Revising a breakup is not difficult at all. And it's the same idea. You go back to the moment that the breakup happened. You revise that it didn't happen, and you can add any story you want. You can create your own event. And you marinate on the changed event. You're leaving that timeline where the original breakup happened, and you hop to the one where it didn't. Where we get our logic involved is, okay, I revised the breakup, so why am I not with SP then? Why are we not back together? Let it unfold. Revision is essentially manifesting too. So like a snowball, right? A series of events will take place to make it equal what you revised to. Something will happen where you two are connected, and SP will more than likely have no memory of the breakup. Or if they do remember the breakup, they won't remember why it ever happened and how stupid it was. It'll be something along those lines. Obviously, not one person can tell you word for word exactly how something's going to unfold, because we do not know that, right? That is higher self or your I amness that takes care of that, God, universe. But something will happen that will make that revised memory true. But you leave the timeline where it originally happened. And this is why I've seen people come into comments more on my YouTube than on TikTok, on my YouTube channel, where, someone will ask me a very innocent revision question. I'll respond to them, and, limited thinking peeps will come in and, leave comments like, no, revision only, it only revises your feelings around the original experience. No, it doesn't. It revises, it changes the experience. It might do that for them in their reality because that's their belief. But if you don't want that belief, and you're like me, and you like thinking from the place of being limitless, and that we reality shift, you don't have to take on that limited belief. You can have my belief, and you will have the experience that matches your belief. So if you're like me, and you accept that you are pure, unadulterated consciousness, aka God or universe or whatever feels good to you, whatever words you like to use, if you acknowledge that's who you are, okay, that's limitless, flawless. That's who we really are. We just have forgotten. And this is why it's called like the awakening. You're remembering your true self. There's nothing out of your reach. That's when people ask me, hey, can I manifest this? Can I manifest that? You can manifest anything. The answer is yes to all. Anything. But we have all been conditioned to think that life can't be that easy. That can't possibly be true. No way. You can't just manifest anybody you want, Kim. You can't do that. You're infringing on their free will. What? I instantly know by that response that you don't understand that there are infinite versions of all of us. All of us. And when we're manifesting SPs, you're not infringing on their fucking free will. You're choosing the version of them that is choosing you by changing yourself. And we can do that because we are the I ams of our own individual realities. See what I'm saying? We are limitless. There's nothing you can't have. I get really passionate about that. Can you tell? I'm sorry. It's because I've done it. I've done it. So I know it's possible. I know it's real. I know it's true. So when I hear anyone saying you can't, or there's limits, or you're hurting people, who the fuck are we hurting? The version that don't want us can live their happy little existence in the reality where they don't want us. We're choosing the version of them that does. You're thinking small. You're thinking 3D. We're above that. We're above that. We've been conditioned to think small, to think limits. Oh, we ain't. We're limitless. Anyway. Ready to manifest more money. Identify as the version of self that has more money. Give it a dollar amount. What do you want? What do you want your bank accounts to say? Start identifying as the you that has it. I don't know why my go-to is always multimillionaire. Identify as a multimillionaire. Money will start coming to you. My experience was smaller amounts, and don't look at those smaller amounts like I did, okay? I was a victim bitch in my early days. I was married to a victim state. So when I was manifesting money, I would get like an extra $20 here, finding a penny on the sidewalk, and then I'd get an extra 100, an extra 1,000. And when I would get those, they were BBLs for what it's worth, I would be so irritated. Like, what the fuck is this? This isn't what I'm manifesting. What is this gonna do for me? This is not gonna pay off all my debt. This is stupid. This doesn't work. Oh. I would like to revise and go back and slap the shit of my old self, even though I do love my old self. But no, that's BBLs. That's you stepping into the awareness of you being abundant, of money coming to you. It's wonderful that that's happening. It's your own 3D validation that your, let's say, affirmations or scripting or your visuals are working. Return to that. Return to it. It's all in who you're identifying as. But that goes hand in hand with what I was saying earlier about you've got to let the old man croak. And if you've never read anything by Neville Goddard, the old man is your limited old self who thinks that money's hard to come by. Or maybe there's never been anybody super rich in your family, so you think that it's not going to be possible for you. And none of that is true. Okay? Got to let that old state of consciousness where we are seeing ourselves as limited with money or love or health or whatever, appearance changes, let that croak, let it die so you can step into new self. So is deciding being? Yes. Yes. I word it like deciding because I am in the awareness that we are having a 3D human experience. And there's a percentage of a chance, notice I don't say the number of the percentage because I don't want to limit anybody. There is a percentage of a chance that we might have a human day where we don't feel like we've got the fucking strength or energy to do a manifestation technique or to do anything manifestation related because we're bothered by our 3D, right? Those days, the most you've got is just to say the words, I am new self. Even if I don't believe it, I don't feel anywhere near new self, but I'm still choosing it. I'm still claiming it. And then don't do anything the rest of the day. That's okay. You still made your decision. That's what matters. So that's why I word it like return to your decision to be your new self. Return to that for those days. Thank you so much. Needed to hear that. Oh, see, Melanie? You were meant to be here today. Thank you, Bryn. How to revise if you have trouble visualizing. King Kimmy, you don't have to visualize if you don't want to. We were all thinking in pictures anyway, but as far, I see what Kimmy, I just had a duh moment. I now understand what you're asking me. Okay. When you don't visualize, how are you supposed to revise? I thought for a second you were literally, see why logic and literalism isn't our friend? I thought you were asking me literally, how do I revise to visualize? Oh, Lord. Okay. What do you enjoy doing, Kim? Do you like scripting? Do you like affirming? Okay. My God, Bryn, you are hammering me. Thank you. Kim, whatever you like to, notice how I'm just calling you Kim, even though it says Kimmy. That's habit, because I'm Kim too. Whatever you like to do, you may use that technique. So let's say you like to script. You're just going to script over that moment. You're going to remember the experience you're revising. I don't mean from a placement of marinating in it. You're just going to get pen to paper of rewriting that day. Or that moment, that experience, right? That's scripting. Or you can affirm it simply by affirming, you don't literally have to say the date of the original experience. I'm being a little sarcastic, but on November 12th, SP and I had the most amazing day together. Maybe that was the breakup day. But again, I'm kidding. You don't have to use the exact date. But, SP and I have always been together. Our relationship is fucking amazing. Affirm it. Just slapping that little word always in there is a revision affirmation. But you can do whatever technique feels good to you. You don't have to do, what other people do. Meaning this really is an individual game. You can do whatever feels good to you. So for example, I don't love visualizing. I don't feel like I'm amazing at it. I also have ADHD, so keeping my focus somewhere, just for what it's worth, I didn't know I had it till I was 48. Okay, so this is literally last year. I just thought I was a quirky bitch, but it explains a lot. Even though I don't like labels. I don't like labels, though. So I don't love visualizing. And, I love Neville Goddard. And Neville Goddard, all he fucking talks about is visualizing. So in my early days, I panicked. I'm like, what am I going to do? I hate visualizing. It's so boring. I can't stay in it. My mind wants to go all over the place. Now I know why. But I loved, at the time, scripting because I love paper products. I love pens, new pens. So I would write everything down. And I just decided for myself that was going to work. And I mean that because there was no law of assumption channels when I started my journey. There were only law of attraction, and ain't nobody at that time was talking about scripting the way I do it. All the only videos you could find was like the 3x33 or 5x55. Nobody had just mind dump scripting, which is what I chose to do. And I have manifested so much from scripting for what it's worth. But, because of time constraints, because I'm busy a lot, I don't have time to script every day like I used to. So eventually that went into embodiment, right? Embodying the state of the wish fulfilled. So I wanted back then to embody the feeling of actually being whatever state I wanted to be in. And I realized through my own journey that no, I can just decide. I can just say I am that self. And that's gonna be enough. because I say so. And it worked. And it worked flawlessly. So you don't have to do what I do. If you love, I'm going to pretend you love scripting. If you love scripting, script your balls off and you're going to manifest very, very successfully from it. This really is an individual game. It really, really is. So do what feels good. How do you ignore the time lag? Do you mean time lag? Okay, wait. How do you ignore the time lag for your desire to be shown in 3D? I'm picking on you, but if you didn't know, I love reading comments exactly how they're written. It's funny, okay? All right, so the time lag. Well, first and foremost, even though, listen, I'm not stupid. I know that when we make a decision to be a new self and our 3D doesn't instantly look like your new self, because maybe the manifestation isn't instantly in our 3D, right? In our face. But you do want to get out of the habit of identifying as having the time lag, okay? But listen, that's just me splitting hairs right here. I'm just splitting hairs a little just because I just want that to get out to anybody listening to me. You want to get out of declaring, I can't even talk, declaring that it's not here, that we're on a time lag. You don't want to declare that. You don't want to be in that awareness, right? But just because I'm answering the question, don't get me wrong. I know you got to give me specifics when you're asking a question. So this is not me picking on you. Number one, you want to look at your 3D that everything you're experiencing is the unfolding to it. So instead of seeing it as a time lag, I'm not going to drop that, okay? Instead of seeing it as a time lag, you want to see it as, oh, no. There's not a lag, right? There's no lag. This is the unfolding. Every single thing I'm experiencing right now, even the mundane stupid shit, like me pulling over to get gas after work or something, is a part of the unfolding because everything is moving me to the fullness of that manifestation. It has to be. See what I mean? So you deal with it by reminding yourself, number one, who you are, right? Which is pure unadulterated consciousness. And who you're choosing to be, right? What concept of yourself you're choosing to be. The concept of you of having your manifestation. That's who you're choosing to be. So if I'm choosing that and I'm in the awareness that I am choosing to be the me that has my full manifestation, then I know out here is unfolding. So it is the unfolding. So my manifestation is actually here. It's here. I might not see it with my 3D eyeballs. And maybe the circumstance in front of me doesn't make sense to me how it's a part of my manifestation. But that's okay because my higher self, thanks, Bren, because my higher self, who has the full view of this 3D reality, knows that I'm in the right place, I'm in the right reality, I am the right version of self to have my manifestation. So there's no lag. There's no lag. It's unfolding. I'm watching it perfectly right now in front of me. Perfectly unfolding. That's how. And yes, I literally do give everything the meaning that it's unfolding. Me being live on here today is the unfolding. And you know what the fun part about that is, for me anyway, is, we all get so hyper-focused on what we as individuals are manifesting. But whether you are aware or not, every single one of us that's here together right now, all 240 plus of us, we are all somehow, some way in the orchestration of everyone else's manifestation. Every one of us is. We are all somehow, some way in the full orchestration of someone else's manifestation of their bridge of incidents. Isn't that fun? When you think bigger, it's fun. Because even though we're the boss of our individual reality bubbles, right? That's how I look at it. I look at us like we are, like the bubbles, where you put the little bubble wand in the bubble juice and you blow out the bubbles. That's the picture I get. We're all inside of one of those bubbles. But we do bump up around each other, right? We intermingle. But somehow, some way, we're all affecting somebody else's manifestation. And obviously, we look at that as a good thing. It's a fun thing, right? So like right now, you're looking at me. So from your perspective, I'm in your reality. And I'm a particular version of myself in your reality. But from my perspective, I'm in my reality. And you all are your own. You got your own reality bubbles, but I'm intermingling with versions of you. And the versions of you that I'm intermingling with are based off of me and my beliefs. That's how this works. So how I'm showing up to you is based off of you. Ain't that cool just to think about? I think it is. Anyway. Yes, Eric, thank you for bringing that up. I like Eric. Eric going global. He's over on my YouTube too. He's one of my channel members. Yeah, I'm doing a holiday challenge on my YouTube. You can all join. Don't cost nothing, right? It'd be great if you were subscribed to my YouTube channel to do it, but it's fun. And listen, if you don't celebrate Christmas, guess what? You still get to do this. Maybe you celebrate Hanukkah. Guess what? That's part of it. You can be a part. It's a holiday challenge. Let's say you do Kwanzaa. You're included. Let's say you don't do any of those. Maybe you don't do anything special in December. Well, you do now. You're a part of my holiday challenge. See? And all it is it's called the Mrs. J.E. Holiday Challenge. I got a video over on YouTube. You can watch that. Gives you all the details and the specifics. If you don't know who Mrs. J.E. is, well, let me just tell you, it is my absolute favorite, the number one of all time of the Neville Goddard success stories. It is my utmost favorite because there is always the debate amongst Neville purists. I'm not a Neville purist. Yes, I've read everything from Neville, and I personally do love him. But that doesn't mean I have to follow every single thing he says, right? I'm my own individual. We've evolved since Neville's time, but he is the grandpa. That's how I look at him. So the grandpa, in the time that he was writing his books and sharing his knowledge, to me, was probably quite a limited time in society. This is my opinion. This is not, necessarily fact. And I think that Neville probably felt uncomfortable discussing manifesting specific people. Okay? So you'll find that some Neville purists, so other people that believe in manifestation who don't think that you can manifest a specific person, they will sometimes use quotes from Neville to back that up. Well, this is why it's my favorite. Can you tell that everything I talk about has to have just a little tinge of sass and sarcasm? But I don't think it's just a coincidence that Neville put that specific success story in his book. I don't think it was a mistake. I don't think it was a coincidence. I think it was deliberate, and it was the manifestation of a very specific person. I think that was put in there for a reason. Again, to everyone keeping it real, that's just my opinion, okay? It's just my opinion. So it's good. It's really good. She did a simple little revising her day before she went to sleep technique. It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't hard, okay? All she did was, so she was a single chick. Do you guys know the story? Am I giving away too much? I'm just saying. It's exciting. She was manifesting an SP. They had a date. They went out together. And after that, she really, really liked that SP. But they had to, go on their own ways. And she had to move. And back then, they didn't have cell phones or the internet. And, lost contact with that person. And she was afraid that person, her SP, didn't have her phone number. So she had gone to a Neville lecture, and Neville was talking about revision in the lecture, and the suggestion in the lecture was to revise her day. Revise your day before you fall asleep. And she did it. So for the full month of, I think, September. Either September or October. No, the full month of September, she revised her day before she fell asleep every single day. So she was a single woman living with 3 other single women, okay? So before she would go to sleep at night, she would revise that she was not in her, single living apartment. She was actually in her marital home, in the marital bed, as if she was sleeping next to her specific person, and she would twist around an imaginary ring. Now, in the actual book, it says imaginary ring on her imaginary hand. I think you can use your real hand if you want while you're revising. That's okay. But she would revise that she was married. And let's see. So she did it every single day in the month of September. In October, that SP found her. They reconnected. They were engaged by November and married by the following May. It is my favorite. So again, all she did manifestation-wise was fall asleep or revise her day before falling asleep. And it worked flawlessly for her. So that's the challenge. So on my channel, we're calling it the Mrs. J.E. Holiday Challenge, and it's 2 parts. The first part is you starting your day. As soon as you wake up in the morning, you are deciding, claiming that you are your new self, whatever that means to you. And listen, if you're not manifesting a specific person, you could still do this challenge. You're just going to be putting the focus on being the you that has what you're manifesting, okay? So let's say you're manifesting money. You're going to start your day identifying as the version of yourself that, I'm going to pretend, multimillionaire. Let's pretend you're manifesting multimillions, that you're a multimillionaire. And then before you go to sleep at night, you would be revising your day that you were, living your luxury, lavish life. However that may look to you. And you revise doing what you want. Okay? Maybe that's you driving around in your, I don't know, what's an expensive car? I don't know, like a Porsche? I don't know. I'm just giving you an idea. But that's the idea. Okay, so 2 of those. Okay? You do those 2 things. We're going to do it every day. All right? But don't limit yourself to the Christmas, right? I think it's better to have the mindset that if you're identifying as new self, that fucking manifestation can come 10 minutes from now. We don't have to wait for Christmas. It can come tomorrow. It can come 5 minutes from now. See what I'm saying? So don't mistake it that it's a manifest by Christmas. I mean, it's your reality. If you want to do it like that, you do it like that. I'm saying you're just going to be identifying as that new self. So we can allow that shit to show up at any moment. See what I mean? But join me. Let me know you're doing it. Go over to that YouTube video and put an emoji, a Christmas emoji, in the comments so I know you're doing it with us. But I like doing fun stuff around the holidays, if you couldn't tell. I'm very childlike, if you didn't already pick that up. Anyway, how do you start your day as the new self? By deciding you are. It's as simple as how I'm saying it. I am new self. I might not believe that. I might not be seeing that in my 3D or evidence of that in my 3D, but I am deciding that's who I am. And your new self is the you that has what you are manifesting. That is new self. And it's as simple as I'm saying. Now, I've been in this community a long time, and I know that there are some who do not agree that it is as simple as making a decision. And I promise you, it is. And it is that simple because of who you really are, which is pure, unadulterated consciousness, aka God, aka universe, right? Whatever you believe in. Maybe you believe in higher power or source energy or fucking moonbeams. Whatever it is that you believe created the all, and all of us. You are that. Okay? You are that. I am that. And we are all connected together as one of whatever you believe in. to imply that we must work at fixing ourselves, or that we have scary beliefs deep rooted in our minds that need a lot of work to get rid of, I promise you that's a limiting belief. I'm telling you it's a limiting belief. There's nothing wrong if you personally want to go on your own personal healing journey. That is always okay. It's your reality. You're the boss. But if you're like me and want to just hop on into new self and start living like new self now so shit can show up fast, I don't like to wait. I'm impatient. By the power of who you really are, you can do that. To imply that you need work, that you need digging your beliefs out of your brain, is to imply that God or universe is flawed or limited. And that's just not true. We are all pure, unconditional love. Every single one of us. That's who we really are. Life experiences have slapped on conditioning, limiting beliefs. They're just layers that we can throw off of us if we want to. The only thing is, sometimes while we're making that decision, we fall out of it and we let the 3D bother us and we start thinking logically again. And then we get frustrated. And the first place we go usually is, this doesn't work. This is too good to be true. I should have known better. I'm so stupid. Why did I even start this journey? I'm so dumb, right? That's what I used to do. Return to that decision. That was just your old conditioning talking. Return. We are so powerful. Each one of us is. And every single one of us, we're equals, right? We're equals in that unconditional love, that consciousness. Not one of us is better than the other. That's so important to know, right? Because I know sometimes we watch people in videos like myself and we think that, well, the person in the video is better at this than you are, or that, better than me, or whatever. Not true. Not true. We are all complete equals. We just don't always believe that because of our logical thinking. I know I'm getting all like, ooh, here, but I just think sometimes that really is important to know. Thank you for taking time out of your day to help people. Well, thank you so much. If you had a name next to your thing, I would say thank you to your name, but thank you to the picture. D. Thank you. That was very nice. Kim, I want his return, but I have the impression that I don't have dignity if I accept him. Why do you think that? Oh. Oh, dear, cancel. Sorry, I almost blocked you on the accident. Why do you believe that you don't have dignity if you accept him back? Okay. Let me say something. Do you feel that, did SP do something that hurt your feelings? And maybe do you have people in your life who are telling you, he's a piece of shit. Why are you going back to him? He mistreated you. Is it one of those kind of things? Because let me just say this to you, okay? Yeah, we don't want to manifest the twat that you originally intermingled with, right? If this person was not very nice to you, we don't want that fucking person, do we? We want the nice, loving, unconditional version of them. And that does exist, right? Even the terrible assholes in this world, they're unconditional love too at their core, who they really are. But through their conditioning, they're showing up like twats, right? So that may have been your experience with that person. And the people in your life might think they're being loving to you by saying, don't go back to him. He's a jerk. You deserve better. Well, because you do deserve better. But remember how this works. People can only intermingle with us reflecting who we believe we are. Now, hang on a minute. That doesn't mean you're an asshole if we manifested an asshole. That's not what I mean by that. That's why we don't blame and shame here. What I mean is, if someone's showing up not treating us great, and we believe it, we accept it, there's probably a limiting belief that is the reason why. So for example, the limited belief of not good enough. I'm not good enough. Not good enough can, spawn into the not a priority and not chosen. When we feel not good enough, we believe that about ourselves. That can manifest in a third party. That can manifest in someone just, not treating us very nicely, saying shitty things to us, not showing up for us. That one belief can manifest all that shit. And I will tell you, I just put a video up about this the other day that I accepted in the early days of my journey how this worked. But it used to frustrate me that I had to let stories go. So for example, this is what I'm telling you. When you're manifesting a specific person, and if you have kind of a shit past, you've got to let the past go. You've got to choose to let it all go. But hang on. If you're anything like I was, that used to make me upset. That used to make me think that that person is getting away with something, right? They mistreated me. So I just got to let it go. I got to just get over it. When they were acting like a jerk to me, no, I want to be able to tell that bitch off. That's how my mind used to work. They're not getting away with shit. They really aren't. You're getting free from that version of them. You're getting free from the heaviness of the shit memories connected to that shit version of them. That's what we're doing. We're not giving them a free pass to be an asshole. Okay? So you're going to want to put the focus on being the version of yourself that can let old stories go. And let's just say, for the sake of the conversation, since I haven't had a one-on-one with you, so I don't know exactly what your beliefs are, but we're going to pretend that one of them is the not good enough. So you're putting the focus on being the version of you that knows that she is more than enough. Because I don't like just saying good enough. Because I'm good enough sounds like I'm trying to prove myself to SP. Fuck that. I'm more than enough. I'm the best of the best in my reality. And there ain't nobody better than me. It's my reality. I'm the queen of my reality. You're the queen or king of yours, right? So there's no one better than you. They're lucky to even know you, right? But we, in a twisted ass way, we're still saying that with some love. But we're loving ourselves first, okay? So you're going to put the focus on being that version of yourself. And like I said, also, a part of that new self is the self that can let things go, the past go, and that we can see SP as their best self, that we can now see SP as being the unconditional love version of them, that it's more than just a version, that's who they really are. You put your focus on those things, don't you worry. If new self, which is you, is of the belief that she is more than enough, and has no more limited beliefs around love, around relationships. And she knows that she can let old stories go, and that she knows that the people in her life are going to reflect her new self and will accept and love and respect all of her decisions. The people in your life will get a different attitude about your SP. Things will change, but we got to allow them to change, to unfold, and they will. You keep returning to that decision. See what I'm saying? Ooh, what did I just do? Okay. Yes, Kim, remind us. Good. All right. Okay, well, I got company now, so I'm going to have to go. Thank you all so much for being here with me on this lovely Sunday. I'm losing my light. Anyway, all I got is the Christmas tree. Can you see the reflection of the Christmas tree? Isn't it so pretty? I love it. Anyway, all right. So, I love you all. I love that you were here with me. If you are from my YouTube and you didn't catch this whole live, no worries, because I do download. I haven't always been good at it. And now that they delete them after 30 days, I've been good. on downloading them. I will upload this full live stream to my YouTube. Probably not today, but in the next week or 2 or 3. I got 2 TikTok lives that need to go up before this one, but I will put it all over there. Anyway, yes, Eric. Love you all. Decide, choose. Please do. You don't have to be walking around in this 3D reality living a life you don't love. But you're the only one that can change it by choosing it, by deciding that you are more than enough to have any desire. Thank you, Monica. More than enough for whatever you desire. You were not brought here to live a miserable existence. You weren't. So drop those limited beliefs, those layers of conditioning and ignorance, because that's what they are, right? They're layers of ignorance. Now we are awake to who the hell we are, right? We're awake to our power. Okay? So on that note, I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a beautiful rest of your day.